Morning.
Good morning.
One of our subjects for this month is balance. And I've been reading this book by an author named Charles Essert. I think it's probably the fourth time I've read this book. And he's a person who had all kinds of major peak experience, cosmic consciousness experience, in which the light of God shows itself to him and lets it know what it's about. Like it lives in joy, it is permanent, it stays that way forever, it has unimaginable love for its creation and has created everything out of itself. So as a result of that experience, he's written this book to let us know what he experienced and what is it that we need, what comes next. So he talks about 3 stages of evolution for mankind. And we can kind of follow that by thinking in terms of how we watch our babies develop. So the first stage is, say the baby experiences touch, but nothing else. And the second stage is the baby experiences the touch and also knows whether he likes it or not. And we see that in the Adam and Eve story when they gain the knowledge of good and evil. And we had a really good demonstration of that this past weekend in Pacific Grove when I went to see my new great-grandson, who's 4 months old. And they were taking these pictures of him as his first rollover. So he rolls over and he has this expression on his face like, should I cry? But his mommy in the background is going, hooray, hooray, you did it, you did it. And he bursts into this great big smile. And it's the slickest transition from fear to joy I've ever seen. That baby is so cute. So that's the second stage of evolution. You know yes and no, right and wrong, good and bad. The third stage of evolution is called reason, and that's where we are now. And that's where we see that in the Adam and Eve story, where Adam is naming everything. And we see that in the baby, that the mother's teaching the baby to name her, to name objects around her, teaching her to talk. So with those 3 stages, he tells us we are stuck in that third stage of reasoning. And he goes into that story that you've probably heard before of the frog in the well. And if the frog is in the well, it can go all around the well and use its reasoning power, which it really doesn't have any, but this is a good analogy. So it goes all around the well and it finds out all that it can about its environment. But if the frog doesn't know that there is a getting out, or how to get out, or a world out there, all of its conclusions are not correct. And that reminds me of that wonderful movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, where the native finds the Coke bottle, decides that it's evil, goes all through the jungle barefooted, looking for the edge of the world to drop it off. And I think that's such an amazing story that he creates the evil by calling the bottle evil, and then he creates the solution to the problem by finding the edge of the world which doesn't exist. But we're kind of in that same position sometimes with our research in this 4th dimension that our author has experienced. He finds out that there is no disease in that 4th dimension. Well, in the dimension we are living in, the 3rd dimension, we have lots and lots of diseases that we believe in, and we spend lots and lots of our resources and our time figuring out ways to cure them. But the actuality is they don't exist. So being stuck in that situation, also he tells us that we will always experience war, because as you experience other than ourselves, there's always that opportunity for an enemy. And in the 4th dimension, the perception is everything is one. So there's not that opportunity for war. So what to do? So he gives us a couple of suggestions. And since most people don't have that experience of fourth dimension, they don't know it's there, what do? He says one of the things that will help is meditation, because it changes the brain structure. And that's what's needed, is the evolution of the brain structure to catch up or to go forward. But right now, that's not complete. And he also says, for us to know that we don't know. We don't grasp that. And so we need help. So he says, pray and take action. Pray and take action. And that reminds me of a car, the gas pedal and the brake, that when you're praying and you're waiting for this intuition, that's the brake. And when you are taking action, you've gotten the intuition and now you can act on it. So that pray and take action is the balance that is needed for right and left hemispheres of the brain to come into balance. So that's where we are now, and we can do it.